Welcome to Rom Wills Money Matters. Get a part-time job if you have the time. Now, this is something I talked about before, and I was just really thinking about that. Yeah, I know the COVID is out there. A lot of people ain't working and stuff, but they gradually reopening. So when they fully reopen, and they're going to fully reopen, even if the COVID is still generally there, they'll just figure out ways to cope with it. If it does, you get a job. Okay, so you have a full-time job, right? You have a full-time job. It could be a minimum 40 hours a week, maybe 50, even 60. If you can, this is only if you can, get a part-time job. Now someone will say, well, why would I spend all my time for that? You getting a part-time job for the extra money. And it's not even necessarily about survival or paying extra bills. Get that part-time job just to build your savings. Now, I've always talked about how I've worked in different gyms. When I first started working at this particular gym, I really didn't need that job. I was making enough with my regular full-time job, which was in the government at the time, right? So, I got that part-time job because at the time I'm living by myself. I didn't have kids and I had extra time. I mean, shoot, the internet, the social media didn't exist at the time. You can get on the internet, but that was slower. That was those dial-ups and everything. So it wasn't anything like it was now. So you couldn't spend all day looking at videos and everything. So you had the time, even working out. See, one of the reasons I got that particular job was I could work there, but also had free access to the gym. So I said, shoot, let me kill two birds with one stone. And what I did was with the extra money, I just put it away in my savings. I put it away in my savings. And if anything came up, like I remember I had something, I needed some work done on the car, I was able to boom, take care of it like nothing, right? But because I had that time and had that extra job. Now, see, one of my surrogate mothers, she had the same thing. She had worked for the government, and she had free time. Her kids were grown. Her kids were grown doing their own thing. So she had a job. She actually started a job just cleaning buildings, and she got to the point she was making so much money she would buy sports cars and stuff and drive it around and get some stuff and give it away to her kids and everything. And one of the things was my surrogate mother, she took some advice from my grandmother. Right? She took some advice from my grandmother. My grandmother's like, yeah, get that part-time job, but get a job that's fun. Make it your fun job too. Don't just get something just to work, but make it your fun job. And of course I took that advice too. Make it where you just having fun. You getting money, but you having fun with it. Right? You building up that extra funds and everything. Because, okay, say during this period, say somebody was doing exactly that. They had the main job, but then they had the part-time job. In all likelihood, even if they were laid off their full-time job, right? Furloughed or something, depending on what it was, they still might have had the part-time job. Now, unfortunately, sometimes they could have got furloughed from both, but in all likelihood, especially with a part-time job, you work in some place, maybe like a store or doing some cleaning or doing something that's essentially essential. See, one thing with part-time jobs, a lot of the best part-time jobs or the most frequent ones are in maybe a grocery store, or maybe doing some cleaning, especially cleaning. I'm going to tell you what with cleaning. People always need that. People will always need something cleaned. They're going to stay in jobs. Or, you got, people cutting grass and all of that in landscaping companies. They still working, And that's one thing, too, especially during this time, because we don't know when the COVID-19 is going to really get to the point where we'll have to be as concerned about it. But think in terms of some job that's still going to be there. Like, say if somebody's working in a grocery store, they had a full-time job for whatever reason, it wasn't considered essential, but they had a part-time job working in a grocery store or something. They still working. And in fact, sometimes it might be good to get the type of part time job that's not only fun, not only bringing in extra money, but if necessary, you can expand it. Like when I was working at the gym, there was a point I ain't gonna lie, I was a little burned out from doing what I did in the government. It was kind of intense. And actually, for a few months, I actually left that and was working full time at the gym. But brother missed that money, and so I was like, went back. And then still end up working at the gym still. So I mean, it's like it gives you something, right? Now the key part is if you have free time, it's doing something. Now you having fun with it too. Boom. So you getting all this extra stuff. So that's a very key thing. Very key thing that you want to deal with, you want to get into, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. Working, it gives you, see, the thing is, what's the main thing it gives you? It gives you money. What's money? A tool. You know, trust me. Trust me. The more you have, the more you can deal with stuff. You can put it in your savings. You know, two incidents, just having a big savings myself. And of course, I have my own business and everything. But what if I didn't? What if I was just working on a full time job, right? And then, doing a business on the side, building the savings. When I needed another car, boom, had the savings for it. Put a big down payment on it. We'll probably pay it off in a year from savings. And then, I'm recording on a different laptop now, right? When I need it, I ain't have to say, "Oh God, well maybe if I can get this plan, this credit." I just went, saw it, paid for it, boom, moving along. So, but remember that if you have the time, always get a part-time job. Always make your time work because you building that money, not to impress anybody, not to spend it on anybody, but to build your savings. That way, not only you have stuff for emergencies, but say you want to get into business and stuff, you already have a little bit of money to start off with. Keep that in mind. So anyway, that's all I have. Y'all know the deal. Let's go make that money.